Right, yesterday was Sunday, bloody Sunday, Letby Sunday, where everyone likes to release their Lucy Letby videos, which is great, especially the weekly sermons by a liberated mind, always interesting. Now, what I want to talk about is crime scene to courtroom John's released some new transcripts. These are of the judges summing up of the case, and I think we're up to number 2 and 2 of 7. I'm really going to recommend everyone listen to these actually, because John's just reading the transcripts, he's not interjecting his silly little opinions, and 2, they're a lot more interesting to listen to than the normal transcripts, because the normal transcripts go on about nothing, really slow and things, but this is it's a summary given by the judge. And I have to say, Judge Goss has received a lot of criticism for, rightly so, for the directions that he gave to the jury, but I'm not really. I can't find any fault in the summaries that he's given. I think they've been fairly balanced, basically summarising the prosecution and the defence's case. And also because crime scene to courtrooms transcripts before, I believe, mostly concentrated on the prosecution side, you actually hear a little bit more about what the defence had given. And there were some things that were quite surprising that I didn't realise the defence had made such arguments, such as why would Lucy Letby, if she had been successful in killing babies using air embolism and not being caught, why would she then change tack to another method that was not successful, and things like that. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. And on that note, it does make me I'm going to again touch the third rail here. It does make me put more blame on the jury than anyone else. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but when you're hearing this summary, how could anyone possibly say guilty? But we're only up to part 2 of 7, so maybe I shouldn't give my opinion yet. But what I wanted to talk about is, did the judge did he rumble Evans already, and has the judge deliberately left open this window of appeal because he knows something's up? What am I talking about? Well, firstly, we know the judge had been given a heads up. Lord Justice Jackson had taken the unusual step of writing to Judge Goss in December 2022 to warn him of the unreliability of Evans in a previous case, and that his evidence had then been worthless. Well, this is the judge now talking about Evans. I'm just going to clip a little bit.
They point to his putting himself forward to assist in the case at the outset, and suggest that you can infer he was not telling the truth when he said he had not been told by the police that clinicians expected air embolus as a potential cause of some of the collapses.
So the defence was saying that they thought that Evans was not telling the truth about the consultants telling him about air embolism already in giving him the idea. Okay. Let's just go to what we know now, and I'll come back to that. So where are we? So we actually know that this was the bombshell email with JRM, where JRM was talking about piquing the interest of the police. And this other interesting part about the email, it says here, this is from Ravi JRM. So what they're doing is they're collating all of these collapses, these suspicious events that Lucy was on shift for, and one of them here in Ravi's email. After this is highly unusual, may indicate a possible unnatural cause of death. Should we say, for example, air embolism? The review paper attached describes such rashes in air embolism. Well, what would be this review paper attached? It could only be that describes such rashes in air embolism. There's only one. I'm sure there's only one publication that's ever described such rashes in air embolism. It's got to be Shu Lee's paper. So it must have been an attachment to this email that they sent to the police, and so we know he's lying, unless the police took this email and then edited it before and took off some of the attachments before giving it to Evans. I highly doubt that. So let's continue.
In any prosecution, there is a duty on the prosecution to disclose to the defence any material in the possession of the prosecution, or of which they are aware, which undermines the prosecution or assists the defence case. And there will be a note saying this is what he was told and when he was told that. No such note has been disclosed in this case.
Well, isn't it interesting that the judge would tell us about the process and the consequences of such? He's been given the opportunity to tell us, and why would you say that? It's like, when it's like when you're saying to a child, if you tell me now, if you don't tell me, you're going to be in big trouble, and this and that will happen. The judge didn't say that about anything else. It's like he knows and he rumbled him. And just again briefly,
he was the first person who thought of air embolus. There had to be intravenous access, and it was probably a bolus of air down the intravenous line, is what he said.
Yeah, so again, the judge saying that Evans was the first person to think about air embolus, and we know that wasn't the case. So I don't know. It feels like the judge had rumbled him, and the judge didn't believe him either. Couple of other things. There's 60 Minutes Australia, which is a good documentary series. Done a little half an hour thing about Lucy Letby. Wasn't much new information in there. Evans again gave his last ever interview, I'm sure, and said some silly things about the new panel being weak. And what else have I got? There was a story in the Sun. Why Lucy Letby's lawyers are ramping up killer's freedom bid after bombshell twist in another infamous murder case. And what they're talking about is the growing band of Letby champions have been buoyed by the recent release of Peter Sullivan, 68, who was freed after 38 years. I have to say, I don't think that case has got any relevance to the Letby case in any way at all. It's like when football commentators say, "Oh, this is the first time since 1974 since a defender's scored a hat-trick," as if it makes any relevance to anything, when none of the none of the people involved in that case 38 years ago had anything to do with the Letby case. So I'm not quite getting the link myself. I mean, other than the fact that the jury got it wrong, which the juries get it wrong sometimes. I mean, we know that already. So quite why the Peter Sullivan story has got anything to do with the price of fish, I don't know. But I enjoyed Letby Sunday yesterday. Hope everyone else did.